One of the number one reasons why women struggle with dating and relationships today is that they choose men who are not ready for anything real. Ladies, there are lots of great relationship-ready men out here. However, you need to learn how to choose them. I wrote this book to teach you how to do just that. Get your copy of Choose Well, a simple formula to determine the best man for you on Amazon today. Good morning. All right, I know it's early, but I got to get out early. I have an 8:30 appointment at the foot doctor, and I'm going to get me some coffee. But I wanted to jump on this morning and talk about a cautionary tale. And these stories have been in the news. If you're not familiar, the mayor of New Orleans, I believe her last name is Cantrell, and Fannie Willis, if you're familiar with the district attorney in Fulton County, women, African-American women, who are in very powerful positions. So African-American women who appear to have it all, they're in these very powerful positions as women, and they are pretty much in the middle of losing it all. They're in the middle of losing it all because of a little thing called female loneliness. So I know we've talked quite extensively, and we've seen many an article, many a thing about male loneliness, right? We've all heard about that, male loneliness, and it's an epidemic. And okay, but what we don't talk enough about is the loneliness that comes from being a powerful woman. That loneliness hits different. It hits very different. So when you are a woman and you have money, or you have power, you have fame, right? So some of these female celebrities, and we can talk about this, Cynthia, what is her name? Is it Cynthia Jordan? And, we can talk about some of these celebrities, these female celebrities who are getting older and they're unmarried, they don't have children. Female loneliness is a thing. That's a real thing. I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm saying that to be for real. Yes, this just started, evolving_Lulu74. Thank you, Garland Silva, for purchasing a badge. I appreciate you. That's a real thing. That's not me saying that as a cut. That's not me saying that as some sort of, criticism. No, that's genuine. There are plenty of women out here that they are experiencing real loneliness. It's starting to catch up. Like, oh, wow, I don't have a significant other, and they may not have good friends in their life. They may not have hobbies or interests or causes or things that they're passionate about. And that's when it's going to hit different. It's going to hit different as you get older and you don't have what a lot of women have, which is either the experience of being married, or they're married, they've had children. Some women have had a lot of children, so they have a lot of things to keep themselves busy. Then they have grandchildren. They have lots of things to keep themselves busy. But when you don't have that, especially relationships, I have to keep explaining to women that we value relationships. The marker for our true success in life is relationships. It's not money. It's not things that we've acquired. It's relationships. So when we have everything we've ever wanted, tangibly, physically, financially, but we don't have good relationships with our children, good relationships with our family, we don't have a significant other, we feel like failures. Men are not like that, okay? They will eventually feel that, because at some point, their accomplishments, their work, the ability to make money will get old, or they won't be able to do it, it hits them far later. 70s, 80s maybe. Maybe Hugh Hefner in his 80s, he eventually was like, you know what? I probably should have focused on the relationships in my life. I'm sure he thought that at the end, but it literally is at the end. That's when men think about that. It is at the end of their life do they really think about, wow, I probably should have had better relationships. Women, we ponder that every step along our journey. I want to be married. I want to have some kids. I want to have best friends. I want to have a best friend circle. I want to go on girls trips. Like, we're pondering that at every point. Whereas men, they may ponder that on their deathbed. They're just different than us. We need people. We need relationships. And men need people too. Like, can we be honest? Men need people too. And guess what people they primarily choose to lean on? Women. So think about that. There are a lot of codependent men out here that use women to get their emotional needs met. But they need male friends too. They need good relationships with their children. They need good relationships with their family. But they primarily get the need met through women. So I would love to see men leave women alone. So when men are online and they're commenting about, oh, y'all are going to die alone and this and that and the third, I'm thinking to myself, bruh, and oh, I'm MGTOW. I'm going my own way. Yeah, I want to see you really go your own way and give up the one thing that I know you never will. And that's PUSSY. Give up PUSSY. Okay, give up cat and come back and talk to me. Give up cat for 10 years. Do not mess with anything that is female. Okay? Don't watch pornography. Don't look at OnlyFans. Leave real women alone. Like, give up cat 100% and then come back and talk to me. Okay? Y'all can't do it. It is in your very depths of your soul to get the cootie cat. So don't do that. But ladies, these two stories, they are a cautionary tale because these women were caught in affairs with people they worked with or people who worked for them. And it is wreaking havoc in their careers. And that's it. And it's also indicative of a woman's feelings and emotions and how strong, how, it trumps everything, right? Sometimes a woman's feelings trumps everything. She will make decisions when she's in that feeling, emotional place that has the ability to destroy her whole life. But because that's how she feels, that's her emotions in that moment, she will act on it, and this is what you got. So now they're coming for the mayor of New Orleans, her last name's Cantrell. They're coming for her, saying that she had this affair with her bodyguard or the man who's supposed to be protecting her. They got a picture of her and him sitting outside, smiling in each other's face at lunch, and, claiming they're at work or on duty, on official duty when they're not. They're in the Napa Valley and they're in Martha's Vineyard, having a good time. And hopefully you all are familiar with Fannie Willis, her situation. But it's got to be a cautionary tale that you have to have a well-rounded, comprehensive life. You've got to have friends. You've got to, if being married is your priority, you have to make it your priority. And you have to put yourself out there and be married. And, a lot of women hate the fact that I have stated, and I stand on this, if I'm being honest, even today in this crazy world, I stand on the fact that if you wanted to be married, you could be. Some things would have to change. And I don't even believe necessarily that, quote unquote, your standards have to lower. That's what women keep saying. Well, I'd have to lower my standards considerably to be married today. I disagree with that. I think that the energy in you would have to change. You'd have to be marriage minded. You'd have to be a wife, and you'd have to prioritize having a good husband. That's what you all are not willing to do. You're not willing to prioritize what is a good husband. What type of man would make a good husband? And how do I become a wife? That's what you're not willing to do. You want to prioritize things that have nothing to do with being a good husband. Okay? You want to prioritize 6'3". You want to prioritize a certain look. You want to prioritize, a lot of money, right? When in essence, those things don't determine what type of husband that man is, and they don't determine what type of father he is. But if you focused on, you know what, I'm going to prioritize the things that I know make a good husband and I know make a good father. And that's a long game. You all are focused on the short game. That's why you can't find husbands, because what you say you desire and want is for short-term gratification. It's not for long-term satisfaction. He said men feel regret, some close to the deathbed. I agree. It's more of a deathbed moment. Men don't really think about relationships like that throughout their lives. They think about cootie cat. They think about cootie cat. Okay? They think about the PUSSY. They think about getting laid. And they have certain women on that list that they would like to get laid by as some sort of trophy or a notch in their belt. But they're really not as focused on relationships as women are. So it is what it is. And y'all keep trying to, outthink biology. You keep trying to outthink biology. You keep trying to, say it isn't so by nature. It is so. It is so. There are things innately in us that help us to be good mothers, help us to be good wives, help us to be relational and to be very important members of our tribes and our community. Like that, and I've said this before, and I'm going to stand on it 10 toes down. When women get older, we are needed in the community. We are useful and needed in our community. When men get older, not so much. Not so much. It's like, what do we need a 75-year-old man for in a tribe? Like, he brings a certain amount of wisdom, but he can't hunt. He can't, procreate like that in a healthy way. Like his procreation now is gone kaput. And older women, that's why the Bible calls older women to be instructors. The Titus 2 woman is supposed to help the younger women be good wives, be good mothers. She helps with the children. The grandma is usually the person who's, helping with the next generation and the next generation. She's still cooking. She's still making a house a home, things of that nature. So in my humble opinion, we are very much needed in our communities. And now we have to step up. We have to step up and step into that role. And a lot of women don't want to do that. They want to forever be the maiden. They don't want to turn into the sage woman. They want to be the maiden forever. No. They want to be the lover forever. No. At some point, you have to grow and become the wise sage woman. Okay? But y'all want to be, the girly girl at 70 years old. You don't want to take on responsibility. You don't want to become emotionally mature. You don't want to teach the younger women who don't have a lick of sense, because you've been here longer and you've learned the hard way. And a lot of women, this is another thing. A lot of women, as they age, they want to compete with younger women. And that is, to me, the saddest thing of all. I have zero desire to compete with younger women. Zero. I don't want to get my body done. I don't want to get no BBL. I don't want to get no bigger boobs. Other than my little touch of Botox right here, that's about it. I don't want to dress young. I don't want to show off my body. I don't want to talk in the vernacular of YNs, as y'all, the younger people. I have no desire to do that. It irritates me to even say that right now. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to use terms like simp and just the vernacular. Y'all know the social media young people vernacular. I don't want to do that. I'm grown. I'm educated. I don't need to use that vernacular. I don't need to talk like that. I don't want to cuss. I don't need to do that. Okay? I don't need to cuss to get my point across. But for some people, it's just second nature to be so emotionally immature and so emotionally stunted. Like, that's y'all's nature. You forget your age sometimes. You forget that you are over 40. You forget that you're over 50. Please, let's never forget how long we've been here. Let's celebrate it. Let's make sure that we help people to understand, like, I have lived experience. It's not just, I'm not theorizing. I have lived experience about the things that I talk about and teach. I have clinical experience. But come on now, stop. So we got to grow up, and ladies, you have to prioritize. This is the message that a lot of you all have never received. I received it. That's why I got married. Like, I received it, which is, please prioritize relationships, prioritize marriage, prioritize children, so that you don't have to freeze all your eggs and then come back to the eggs, and then some of the eggs made it and some of them didn't, and then you got to find a man to fertilize the eggs and all that. I didn't do any of that. I got pregnant and I had kids. I got pregnant again and I had 2 kids. I had the first child and I had 2 kids. Because I prioritize motherhood. That is the most important thing. That is the thing I cannot do in a healthy and safe way when I'm 40. So that's not a very popular message, but it's the message that needs to be spread. Prioritize marriage and family if that's something you want to do. I am now 57 years old. I am now the owner of 2 businesses that pay my bills and then some. I am now in a great season of my life. And my career has not been hurt. Like, people always use the career thing. Oh, I can't take time off to have a child, or I can't take time off to raise a child. My career. No, that is a lie from hell. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can get all the education. Let me tell y'all what I instruct, and then I'm getting ready to go because I got to run in here. This is what I instruct young women to do, and I'm going to go to my grave with this. Get all the education you can get by the time you're 25, right? So you're going straight into college. You're going after that to law school, medical school, graduate school. Get all the education you can get by the time you're 25. If you wanted to become a therapist, you would go to undergrad, you would go to grad school, and you would do your 2,000 hours, and you would sit for your exam. You can do all of that by the time you're 25. You can be a licensed therapist by the time you're 25. Now, you are a licensed therapist, right? Or you are a doctor. You're in residency. Or you are an attorney. Now, you're going to make it your business to find a husband. You're going to make it your business to find a good, viable husband, a good, viable father, and you can even start sooner. But a lot of y'all act like y'all can't, y'all can't like brush your teeth and pat your tummy at the same time. So that's why I say 25. But a lot of women act like they can't do things simultaneously. Yes, you can, because your brain is created in such a way that you can multitask. So I even tell women, you can look for a husband in undergraduate, right? And you can let him know, hey, I'd love for us, to develop a relationship, develop our foundation as a couple. I'm letting you know I'm going to grad school. I'm letting you know I'm going to medical school or law school. But once that's over, then you and I are going to focus on the marriage. We're going to focus on having a family, but I've gotten all the education that I need. All you have to do is communicate. You can do these things simultaneously, but women seem to act like they can't do this simultaneously. So I say, okay, 25. And at 25, you are no longer dating or letting men who are not good husbands, not good fathers, you're no longer letting those men pursue you. You're done with that. So let's say you didn't find your husband, but you dated a couple guys, you had your fun, as y'all like to say, but that all stops at 25 years old. From that day forward, you are only engaging with men who are husband material, who are father material. Okay? No exceptions. I told my own daughters this. This guy would make a good husband. This guy would make a good father. Do not entertain him. You are only entertaining men that are ready to be husbands, ready to be fathers, and want something real. Some of those men may be older than you. So maybe you're 25 and he's 29. Maybe you're 25 and he's 28 or he's 30. I want you to keep this in mind, that you're only dating, mating, and marrying men who want to be married, men who want families. And these men, dare I say it, they're probably leaning more conservative. They're not these liberal male feminist types. No, they don't want to be responsible. They don't want to take you on as a responsibility. They want to have fun. They want to F, but they don't want to get married. Anyway, I digress. I had a comment here. Men used to suffer from diminished libido, artificial testosterone, have older men engaged longer in life, hence older men and younger women. Agreed. And then Evolving Lulu says, most graduates have to work for many years to pay off student loan debt, and most men are not signing up to marry a woman with $100,000 in debt. I think there's ways around that. I'm actually helping my own daughter to figure that out. We're actually figuring that out. So we don't have thousands and thousands of dollars of debt. But you'd be surprised, Evolving Lulu. Can I be real? I had $120,000 in debt when I met my husband. And he was like, where do I sign up? Where do I sign up, Anita? Okay, you'd be surprised what a man will do for a woman who's 22, 23, 24, 25 in her physical prime. You'd be surprised what a man will do for a woman in her physical prime. But I digress. But 25, ladies, you get till you're 25 and then all bets are off. You start prioritizing getting married. You start prioritizing having kids. Okay. He said, buy a house together to refinance house, pay off loans. Yeah. Like I said, he was like, where do I sign up? He didn't care about that. He didn't give a fig about that, but it's a thing. And I'm not going to use terms like the wall or winter is coming. Cause again, I'm a grown up. I'm an educated grown up. I don't need to fall back on that, but y'all have heard those phrases and everybody's going to hit the wall. Everybody's going to get old. That's just called so what? Everybody's going to get old. I got things hurting now that I never expected to hurt, but it is what it is. Like I said, mature people understand this. Our youth is not the only value that we have. You know, when you're a grown up, you don't place all your, that's like me as a woman placing all my value on beauty, all my value on my body. That's not all my value. And a man shouldn't place all his value on his money. He has to bring something else other than money. Money is not going to raise your kids to be good people. Money won't buy you a genuine friend. Money won't buy you genuine love and genuine desire from a woman. So come on, we have to grow up. We have to grow up. Some of us are so emotionally immature. We need to grow up. And we need to start seeing our true value through the eyes of our Creator. That's why I tell y'all, I don't care about what y'all say. My God has ordained me. My God has told me who I am. There ain't nothing a man or a woman on earth can tell me about me, because my God will tell me, Anita, you ain't doing right. Anita, you messing up. Or Anita, very well done. Very well done, my good and faithful servant. That's it. So y'all need to stop relying on what these people down here tell you about you and what you need and what makes you a good person and all that other foolishness. I don't care nothing about that. God has given me a purpose and a meaning for my life and given me an assignment, and I'm doing it. The end. That's it. So that's the message, ladies. These women, and there are others, they're examples of their female loneliness getting them in trouble. And everything they've worked so hard to accomplish is now going to fall. And it's sad. It's unfortunate. But when you have powerful women, educated women, women with high posts and high careers, and they don't have a man in their life, because I think the New Orleans mayor, she was married and her husband died. She was married, her husband died. And like I said, that grief, that female loneliness is going to get you. It's going to get you. There is nothing like the warm, loving arms of a man that actually cares about you. It is irreplaceable. Can we be honest? Now, some of us will not experience that or experience marriage. some widows. My mom is widowed. She will never be remarried. And she told us that. I will never be remarried. It is what it is. And and again, she has the Lord, my mom has the Lord. So the only thing that could possibly compare is the love of the Lord. But please just know, a lot of women don't want to say this out loud because there's a shame around it and all of that. But just know that your money ain't going to keep you warm at night. Your big house and your car and your fame and all of that. Look at all the female celebrities. And they in a cope right now. They talk in a cope, and it's like, oh, it's okay. And, oh, I'd rather this than this and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And again, all I can do is believe them. But one was Fannie Willis. She said, who were the two women you were talking about? One was Fannie Willis, the DA for Fulton County. The other one is, gosh, I can't think of the lady. Her last name is Cantrell. She's the New Orleans mayor. Both of them, their careers are done. Their careers are shot because of these illicit affairs with their bodyguards or, these men that they work with. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all. I am now back to posting on my regular YouTube. So this video lives on YouTube. You can go over there, subscribe to the channel. You can become a member of the channel. And I appreciate your support. Thank you to everyone who purchased a badge. Have a great day. And as always, stay open to love.